It was originally designed as a transport to replace the Nord Atlas in the French, German and Italian air forces, but Italy actually backed out, but the French and the Germans continued. You can see coming in from your right now, flown by Klaus Plaza and Rolf Schrader. All of the manoeuvres that you are going to see here today are not something that's practiced for the air show. Klaus has over 7,500 hours on this aircraft, and he's flown it as part of the Luftwaffe in operations overseas in places such as Mali, Somalia, Kosovo, Sudan and Afghanistan, where flying of this ilk is required. Powered by two 6,100 shaft horsepower Rolls-Royce Tyne turboprops. The aircraft has a payload capacity of about 16,000 kilos. It could also carry 93 troops, 88 paratroops or 62 stretchers. Said designed originally to take over from another aircraft. Lockheed didn't like that idea, so they tried to delay production by trying to insert the C-130 Hercules into the mix. Manufacturing lines for the aircraft were set up in both Germany and France. For the Hamburger Flugzeugbau, VFW Dornier and also Nord.
Wow.
The production was later taken over when those companies were swallowed up by Aerospatiale.
That's in Scone, Hunter Valley area. Sorry, Abba Hunter. That's the air show. It's,
successively modified
coming once a year.
The aircraft has a short field performance with a takeoff
some years they do it
meters,
the mid
and a
of
landing
March.
can be accomplished in
Some years they
400
do it
meters.
the end of March. So wow.
The French and the German operations, I mentioned some that Klaus himself was involved with. In Cyprus, Zaire, the Gulf War, Sub-Saharan Africa,
So
Angola, the South African border war,
Sweden,
Afghanistan,
Jordan
North Mali,
community
Bosnia. So it has been to all the bad
just
places.
visited the air show today.
The aircraft was eventually replaced by a much larger 4-engine turboprop, the Airbus A400M.
Sharing this to you guys.
Now this is one of 3 aircraft that have been purchased and have been converted over to firebomb operations.
So
you can
if
see
anyone
the slow
want to
approach here.
come
Basically,
next year,
nose
so
down, this is what was referred to as the Kosovo approach. So landing anywhere in Kosovo
New South
where there were
Wales,
bad guys everywhere.
airport.
This is a mild
So
version
that's,
of it. They would fly along, push the nose
in
over
Abba
and
Hunter
drop
area.
rapidly down onto the runway so as
And
not to
double
expose
check
themselves
when the
to
show
surrounding
start.
fire. Configured past there with the ramp down. These aircraft are going to be modified as firebombers, and Klaus is going to be providing the tactical method.
This video
of
made by
fires.
Fadi Al-Qadi.
He's flown the C-130 quite a bit, also the Lockheed Electra on freight operations.
Sunny day.
With the C-130, they've got windows that extend right the way down in front of the pilot, and he can virtually see right to the drop point what's going on. Here they don't have that opportunity. So he said yesterday when he was talking with us about how he has to work out an approach starting from about 2 kilometres away from the target. Klaus himself went into the Luftwaffe in 1981.
See these
He
different
started off as a
aircraft.
crew chief on Huey helicopters.
One
Then
engine
gained his,
aircraft, two
his
engine
engineering
aircraft.
degree, aeronautical engineering degree, and became a pilot. He was dux of the class in his pilot's course. And he became head of tactical airlift, looking after 35 of these transits. Conversion to the fire bomber involves tanking the aircraft, and it will take up to 14,500 litres. Very slow approach there, going into reverse thrust.
Big.
2007. Klaus became a test pilot, and those of you who read the magazines would have seen his name many times mentioned flying Messerschmitt 109, Focke-Wulf 190s as well. He's actually leaving here.
This
Once
place
he
is
leaves
called
here, he's going to fly a
Airport, Scone
Focke-Wulf
Airport,
190,
Scone,
and then a Messerschmitt 109,
Airport.
I believe, in Canada.
in Upper Hunter area.
The Blunty, the Strike Master.
This air show happening once a year,
Squadron leader,
the mid of
Jason
March or
Easo,
the end of March.
who currently
Sometimes
also
mid of March,
flies the
15 or
F-35,
to 20s,
the
or
Lightning
sometimes
II.
the end of March. It depends on the weather. MashaAllah.
So Easty is currently flying the F-35.
So if you see these all aircraft, so all of them they will take off one by one.
And also, we started off flying with the Royal New Zealand Air Force. He was flying A4 Skyhawks. It was the last pilot to demonstrate the classic Hornet here in Australia, and then became the CEO of number 100 Squadron, the historic squadron.
Wow.
That operates from both Point Cook, Rough Base, and also Temora at the Temora Aviation Museum. Strike Master was developed through a long series of provost trainers, starting off literally with a piston engine provost, the venerable Alvis Leonides engine. That was a tail wheel piston engine aircraft operated for many years. The trainer was the RAF. They decided to go into the jet age. So, utilising components of that piston engine.
Or if anyone interested to come next year, so contact the Australian community, Australian Jordanian community members, and they will manage tickets for you guys.
And refinements, strengthening the wing, modified the fuselage, went through jet provosts all the way up to the T5. Quite a number of those T5s actually came out to Australia. Some of them marked with RAF Cranwell, which was the RAF College.
This aircraft,
Strike Master developed from the T5. It was designed as a counter-insurgency light attack aircraft. Wing was strengthened, armament, 2 7.62 NATO machine guns, 8 wing hardpoints carrying a combination of 3,000 pounds of different ordnance, whether air-to-ground rockets, napalm, or extra long-range fuel tanks. They only built 146 of these, however, they served with 10 different military air arms, and they came out in 11 different versions for only 146 machines. The versions basically reflected the military air arm for which they were flying.